Alright, so welcome to another do-it-yourself repair video. This will be specific to a 2010, or I guess 2005 to 2010 Chevrolet Cobalt sedan or coupe. I'll explain a few more details later on, but here's the problem this will fix. Try to open the door, and it closes. Try to open the door, and it closes. It does not stay open unless you find a very specific sweet spot, and even then a slight wind gust will blow it closed and probably hurt you. So this is the problem. Now GM calls this thing a door check link, or some kind of link thing, whatever. I'm talking about this little piece right here. The surface of this thing gets worn down over time, and you can kind of see here there's little divots or spaces or whatever you want to call them that's supposed to basically go through like a clamping mechanism and hold the door open. But once this gets worn down, guess what? It stops clamping, and then the door doesn't stay open. It's even barely staying open right now. But yeah, so in this video I will show you how to remove that thing and replace it with a new one, or a slightly newer one. And even if you're not mechanically inclined and aren't comfortable taking stuff apart, don't worry, that's why I'm here. So here we go. Okay, so here are the parts that you will need to get this completed. You'll obviously need a new one of these things, the door link, check link, whatever the hell. It goes by many names, so yeah. You will need a 10mm socket with a wrench, or ratchet I mean, and screwdrivers, one Phillips head, and I like to use a flathead just to kind of pry stuff around. And if you have a small precision screwdriver, it can come in handy. I use it for the little flap cover thingies that are on the door panel in order to be able to take that off. So, alright, once you have all that, then we can get started. Okay, so to start taking the door panel off, what you need to do is take off these little panels inside here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little cover that covers the screw there, and there's a cover in here that covers two screws in here. These things are a pain in the ass to take out. I would personally recommend leaving this one off if you plan on tinkering around in the door a lot. But yeah, if you can get this thing off and that thing off in less than like 2 minutes, then congratulations, because these are a pain in the ass. What I typically tend to do is to grab like a precision screwdriver or something, like something small, stick it down in there just to push that tab over, and then try to pry it up. That's really all I can do. Same thing with the one up there. But yeah, once you get those off, then you can remove the screws in there, and the door panel will come off. Okay, what you want to do once you have the two screws removed from in here is pull this whole unit out, slide it back, pull it out of the door, and you'll see all the lovely bunch of wires in here. What you want to do is unclip every single one of these so that you can just get rid of this thing, and then you can proceed to remove the door panel. This thing just kind of unsnaps, like once the screw is out, you just kind of have to wiggle it out of here and then try to shove it through the hole once the door panel is off the car. So yeah, let's move on to that step. Okay, so the door panel on the side here has two little clip thingies. What you want to do is stick a flathead screwdriver in here to kind of pull it out. Don't try to pull the entire thing out, like pull out the center portion of it. Like, sorry about the view here, but working the camera one-handed is kind of annoying. But yeah, what you really want to try to do is just pull the center section out like that, so that you can just pull that out, and then stick your screwdriver underneath and pull the rest of it out, because then that'll unclip the panel from the door. Do the same thing for that one, and then we can move on. Okay, once you have the switch unit removed and all the screws removed from up there, down here, and all the little tabs from the side, what you're going to want to do is kind of grab the door panel from the bottom. It should be a bit looser down here, and just yank it off. It's only held on by clips at this point that kind of clip into the metal frame, so once you work your way around and pull these off, it should be free. Now be careful up here, because there's a little metal clip that holds this triangular piece to the metal frame. But if you happen to have the model that has a speaker up here, there is a wire that you don't exactly want to rip, so just be very careful. There's the clip. Okay, once that's free, you can kind of pull this thing loose, just kind of pop it out, and then you can kind of just lift the whole door panel up. And then it'll kind of hang on there for a sec, but then, okay, I'm going to disconnect the wire and then get the door panel off, because doing this one-handed is kind of hard. Okay, once you've got the door panel off down there, like I said before, you got to disconnect this little clip that goes to the speaker if you have it up here. Grab something that you can use to prop the door open. I just have a gas can here, because once you start removing the bolts for this thing, the door is obviously going to want to close, and you don't want that to happen, because A, it'll hurt, and B, it'll get in the way. So to get started over here, you need to remove this bolt and these two nuts. So get that started. Okay. Okay, screws out. You can kind of already see the problem here, since this is so loose, but okay. So now just do these two nuts. Just start undoing those. Once you loosen them a little bit, you can kind of just use your fingers here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there, because what you don't want to do is have this thing drop into the door, because then fishing out is going to be a pain in the ass. So what you want to do over here, this plastic moisture barrier, you can kind of just pull away from the door. You don't have to worry about wrecking it, because this black goop is just adhesive that holds it on, and it's very sticky, so even if you take it off a bunch of times, it'll still go back. So you just need to kind of make yourself enough room to be able to reach in behind and grab this thing before it falls down. So I'm going to need both hands for this, so camera goes bye-bye. Alrighty, just got it out. So now we can see these two side by side. First things first, what you want to do is make sure you keep this little piece of foam, because you're going to need that unless your new one has one of its own. So yeah, set that aside up there. Now, let's compare these two. See that? Now compare it to this. Damn near flat. Plus you can kind of see how this one can just move, like it just jiggles in there, because it's not really making much contact anymore. This one, it's solid, it does not want to do anything, so there's your problem. So yeah, what you basically want to do now is transfer that little piece of foam to this, because that's kind of like the water seal, so that it doesn't let water get into this hole, at least not a lot. And then do the reverse of what we just did to put it back in. So I'm going to get myself started here. Okay, so you can see here that I've finally managed to get the new one into place. It's kind of loose. I've got my hand on the other side holding it in. But all you really have to do now is just put the two nuts back in to hold those in, put the bolt back in, and then reassemble the door. So, yeah. Okay, just finished tightening the nuts on that side, bolt on that side. It's secured. So now with this, you just push this barrier back over. Just kind of align it with where it was. Just kind of press this goopy crap back onto the door so that it sticks. and does its job. And then you just put the door panel back on. Okay, getting the door panel back on is literally just a reversal of what you did to take it off. Just make sure you feed all the wiring through this big hole, and obviously feed that thing through, and plug the little wire back in if you have the speaker before you clip the corner piece back into here. Make sure the door lock thing goes through the hole, and then you just basically just grab it, set it on top, push it in, and it should be good to go. Okay, so once you have the door panel in place, you basically just kind of push all along the bottom and the edges to get the clips to reseat themselves. This thing can be a bit of a pain in the ass. What you want to do is kind of set it back into its little hole. Kind of start from this end, because you can kind of see there's little hooks that are supposed to hook into the door panel itself. And then on the other side there's more, so then you just kind of push in and get it to seat itself properly. And then these you just kind of plug back into this thing. And then once those are in, you just put the screws back in up here and down there. And that part will be done. Okay, and for the side of the door panel here, once this thing focuses, these little clips, you can kind of just put the middle part back in a little bit, and then just kind of feed it into the hole, then push it in, and you're good to go. Same thing for this one, and that's it. So now that the screws and all the caps and everything are back in place, you're done. So once I get my lens cap out of my way here, the door closes. Now, look, door stays open there. It can come in, stays open there, come in again, and it stays open there. And then finally just closes. All because of that little bar getting worn down, you lose the ability for your door to actually keep itself open. So, yeah. Annoying little part, but pretty much every vehicle that uses one of these things is going to have this issue at some point in their life. So yeah, that's what you need. Okay, so what I was saying before regarding the years and whatnot, these parts should be the same for all Cobalts, like 2005 to 2010. Between the 2 doors and the 4 doors, I am not completely sure if they are the same. I wouldn't expect them to be, since the 2 doors have larger doors and they're heavier, so these would make sense for them to be different, but they may or may not be. I don't know. I haven't really done any major research on that, but yeah, as far as I know, the parts for the front doors on a sedan, like a 4-door, they are the same for the front, and then the ones for the back are also the same. The way they do this is you basically just take this thing and flip it over to use on the other side of the car, which is literally the reason why I was able to find one of these so quickly and easily, because I just went to the scrapyard and found a vehicle where it seems like the passenger side was never used, because this thing is basically brand new. So yeah, if you go that route, then you can find these for relatively cheap, I would assume. But yeah, all Cobalt ears will be the same part. Front and back for sedans obviously are going to be different, I think, and the ones for the 2 doors are going to be like probably unique to them. But feel free to look up the part numbers if you want and see if they match up. If they don't, then you know they're different. If they do, then I guess GM really does like to save money, but whatever. In any case, if you happen to have a vehicle that is not a Cobalt, this will still probably work. You just have to get the proper parts and obviously tweak the procedure a little bit to go with your own vehicle, but everything is relatively the same. You just have to remove that thing, and obviously to be able to do that you need to take the door panel off, so it's going to be different for each vehicle, but it should be similar enough that you should be able to get by, as long as everything is relatively close. Now, I would guess that there are some vehicles out there that don't actually use these. I am not sure. I am no expert, but yeah, if anyone out there has this problem where the door does not want to stay open, this stupid thing is your problem. Replace it and you're good to go. So thanks for watching. Hope I helped you out. See you later.